Celebrating 250 years of independence this week. And I want to talk about one of the most powerful decisions that made that possible. But first, I want to clear something up about a word that most people get completely wrong. That word is acceptance. Think for a moment. What do you think when you hear the word acceptance? Most people, when they hear the word acceptance, the first thing they immediately think is giving in, giving up, weakness, letting people walk all over you, or settling for something less than you deserve. That's not what I'm talking about. Not even close. Real acceptance is not weakness. Real acceptance is one of the most powerful moves a human being can make. Here's how I define it. Acceptance is getting to an internal place where you recognize that what we're experiencing is real. It's a fact. It happened. It's right in front of you. And then saying, now what? What's my next move? How do I move forward? Let me paint a picture. You're the head chef or the manager of an extremely busy restaurant, maybe the most busy in your city. And you prepared a special of the day, a specialty that everyone booked and lined up for. The dining room is packed, the kitchen is busy. And 5 minutes before dinner service, you realize that the special is burnt. It's done. It can't be saved. You have a choice. You could either try to fix what can't be fixed, or you could become a perfectionist and spend 20 minutes trying to redo it. Alternatively, you could take a breath, accept what's right in front of you, and pivot. And look around, see what else you have, what's on the menu. You could change this, you could substitute that. You make it work. Why? Because dinner service is important. There's a sense of urgency. People are waiting, and it's your job. So let me ask you, why should our lives be any different? Why should we treat our lives any different? Why should we respect ourselves any different? Shouldn't we treat ourselves and our lives at least the same that we treat a dinner service? Time doesn't wait for our perfectionism. Time doesn't wait for our emotions to catch up. That doesn't mean we give up. That doesn't mean we don't give things our absolute best shot. It just means we recognize what's right in front of us and say, now what? And we don't let ourselves get frozen. Here's what acceptance actually gives you when you practice it. It gives you a clear mind, a sense of direction, a sense of urgency. Think about it this way. We can't go back in time. We can only live in the present and prepare for a better future. If not accepting a certain fact is holding you back, you're not living in the present, and you're certainly not preparing for the future. At best, you're drifting. The moment we accept what is true, the moment we accept what is, truly accept it, you can operate and make decisions from a better, completely different place. Not from panic, not from denial, from clarity. And clarity changes everything. Now here's the thing. I want to get real with you for a second, because this one is important. Picture a person wakes up in the morning feeling extremely down, and instead of accepting how they feel, they immediately start fighting it. They say, I have no right. How can I feel this way? I have so much to be grateful for. What's wrong with me? And what happens? They're not just feeling down. They're feeling down and guilty about feeling down. And that guilt makes them feel worse. And then they feel guilty about feeling worse. And suddenly they're lying in bed all day, unable to move, because they are trapped in the cycle of not accepting what's actually true right now. Now picture the same person, but instead He accepts where he is. He accepts that he's not feeling up, he's feeling down. And instead of pressurizing himself to be the most productive or to feel happy and feel positive, he simply moves forward by taking a walk, taking a bike ride, and without even realizing, he starts to feel better because he accepted how he felt, not forever, just for that moment. Because they moved forward in a way that made sense in that moment. They stopped fighting the current long enough to actually swim. That's the power of acceptance. It breaks the cycle before it starts. This week, America celebrates 250 years of independence. And I want to tell you about a decision that might have saved the whole thing. Valley Forge, the winter of 1777, George Washington's army has suffered loss after loss. Philadelphia, the capital of the Revolution, has fallen to the British. His men are exhausted, freezing and starving. The situation is desperate. Washington had a choice. He could have refused to accept what was right in front of him. He could have kept pushing forward on pride and ego alone. And what was left of his army would have been destroyed completely. Instead, he accepted the reality. He led his men to Valley Forge. He didn't like it. It was cold, brutal, and painful, but he accepted where they were. And from that place of acceptance, he used every single day of those 6 months to retrain his army, to rebuild his forces, and to prepare for what came next. When they marched out of Valley Forge in June of 1778, they were stronger, more disciplined, and more capable than when they marched in. And maybe, just maybe, if George Washington hadn't practiced the power of acceptance at Valley Forge, we wouldn't be celebrating 250 years of America this week. Acceptance isn't retreat. Acceptance is strategy. Acceptance is what leaders do when the situation demands clarity over ego. How do we implement this in our own lives? So this week, find one situation in your life right now where you're frozen, where you're stuck in a loop of wishing things were different, fighting what can't be changed, or pressuring yourself to feel something you don't feel. And try saying this out loud. Say it together with me. See how it feels. This is a fact. This is real. I don't have to like it, but I accept it. And from here, what's next? What's my next move? That's it. One sentence, one pivot, one moment of clarity that changes the whole direction. When we learn to accept, to become comfortable with what we are naturally uncomfortable with, we harness an unbelievable power. The power of clear mind, a sense of urgency, a sense of direction. Acceptance is not giving up. Acceptance is picking up and moving forward from exactly where you are. Happy 4th of July. And remember, even George Washington knew when to accept the situation and pivot. And look what he built. Subscribe to Expanding Possibility. Class 3 drops next Friday. And drop a comment below. What's one situation you're ready to stop fighting and start accepting? Let's talk about it. Your only limit is the one you made up.